We are here again and we are discussing some interesting PlayStation topics, about the Sony and From Software Owners Capital Alliance and the statement released by Sony, on the PS5 part shortage and official. And we are discussing, what to expect from Blizzconline 2021, and some Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4 news, and Hitman 3's February roadmap and some Resident Evil, Silent Hill and Beat Saber news and analysis. So, before jumping into the topics, please like the video and subscribe to the channel and follow me on Twitter for knowing more interesting and informative topics. Okay, now let's jump in.
We gotta shake that truck! Working on it!
At first we have the PlayStation news is that, media conglomerate Kadokawa Corporation enters into a capital alliance with Sony and digital advertising company CyberAgent. Media powerhouse Sony has recently entered into a capital alliance with one of the biggest companies in Japan. The Kadokawa Corporation is a Japanese media conglomerate behind many popular anime and manga, and also owns From Software, the video game studio that has developed the Souls series, Bloodborne, and 2019 Game Awards GOTY winner Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. As part of this capital alliance, Sony has been given 1.4 million shares of Kadokawa Corporation, which equates to about 2% ownership in the company, specifically 1.93%. Japanese digital marketing company CyberAgent was also included in this alliance, and was given equal shares as Sony and Kadokawa Corporation. The alliance is intended to allow Kadokawa Corporation to invest in the creation, development and acquisition of new IPs, as well as maximizing existing IPs with the strengths of both Sony and CyberAgent. Kadokawa Corporation is well known in Japan, but it hopes to use Sony's global recognition and power in animation and consumer games to reach new levels. Sony's small stake in the company will not allow it to take over operations or acquire IPs. It is a step closer to being more involved with the production of games, namely by From Software. The Kadokawa-owned video game developer has enjoyed a substantial amount of success recently with Sekiro Shadows Die Twice and the remastered versions of Dark Souls. From Software also has a highly anticipated title in development that could be the studio's largest title yet. Elden Ring was announced at E3 2019 and made waves among fans everywhere. The dark fantasy action RPG is set in a world created by novelist George R.R. Martin, best known for the Song of Fire and Ice novels and the hit TV show Game of Thrones. From Software has been recently fairly quiet about details surrounding the release of the title, but the alliance between Sony and Kadokawa Corporation could shed some light on the current development. With Kadokawa Corporation giving a small stake to both Sony and CyberAgent, the marketing potential for video game hardware and new video game titles is immense. CyberAgent is well based in advertising and the development of smartphone games, while Sony's PS5 has been named one of the best inventions in 2020 by Time magazine. The capital alliance with these companies may result in more video game IPs and more high-quality titles being pushed out quickly like Sekiro, Dark Souls, Bloodborne, with potentially more being developed like a Bloodborne or Sekiro sequel. And an official update from Sony suggests that PS5 part shortage may keep Sony from reaching its 2021 hardware sales goal. The launch of the PS5 marked the beginning of next-generation gaming for Sony fans, but many are still waiting for their chance to get one. Discussing its plans for the console in the future, a Sony spokesperson set out a few goals the company has and explained how likely it is to reach them. According to the report, Sony is on track to sell 7.6 million PS5s by the end of March, but its long-term goal is by no means guaranteed. By the end of the next fiscal year, April 2021 to March 2022, Sony wants to sell more than 14.6 million PS5 consoles in hopes of outperforming the PS4's second fiscal year sales. If Sony were able to produce PS5s as fast as customers are wanting to buy them, reaching this goal would be a piece of cake, but unfortunately that's not the case. Instead, it faces shortages of certain parts that are vital to the composition of the console, in large part due to the effects of the global pandemic that is still ravaging the world. The part in question is called a semiconductor, and it's currently suffering from a global shortage. This means that AMD won't be able to make as many PS5 chips, resulting in continued supply issues for the console. This is expected to last at least through the first half of 2021, but the problem could continue beyond that depending on a multitude of factors. This affects Sony in terms of meeting its sales goals, but also directly affects customers and prospective PS5 owners, as it means shortages will continue for some time. AMD also have issued a statement on shortage of AMD chips in manufacturing. Under normal circumstances, it's not unusual for Sony or Microsoft to struggle to meet the demand for their new consoles, but the pandemic has made this issue exponentially worse. Fans would expect to see stock steadily entering the market by April at the latest, but instead it will likely continue to trickle in. That said, if Sony does manage to meet its goals, a lot of people will finally get their hands on the console. If Sony sells 7.6 million PS5s by the end of March, that will have been an average of approximately 55,000 PS5s sold per day. As long as the rate of PS5 sales can keep up with that pace, then Sony will meet its goal, and even exceed it by a few million units. It's difficult to gauge just how many people are trying to buy the PS5, but over the next year there will continue to be more added to the market. Up next, we have some Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4 news. According to information relayed by Jeff Keighley, during an earnings call, Activision Blizzard says Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4 won't be out soon. Unfortunately, it seems like Activision Blizzard may not have the most exciting year ahead of it for new releases, at least as far as Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4 are concerned. Though fans are extremely eager to see what Activision Blizzard has in store for its hero shooter sequel, it seems like Overwatch 2 is still far from release. The news comes straight from Activision Blizzard, but was relayed by games journalist and Game Awards host Jeff Keighley. Keighley relayed the information on Twitter, saying that during an earnings call Activision Blizzard said that the company does not expect Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4 to release in 2021. Overwatch 2 has been on players' minds for well over a year now after it had an amazing reveal in 2019. Many will remember seeing Overwatch 2's cinematic reveal trailer at BlizzCon 2019, where fans of Activision Blizzard and Overwatch were once again blown away by the quality of the cinematic trailers the company can produce. Even now, 0 Hour Trailer has well over 15 million views on YouTube, with an equally impressive 383,000 likes. Though, seeing as there was no release date or window at the end of the trailer, Activision Blizzard must have been confident even then that the game would not be releasing for quite some time. Additionally, it sounds like Diablo 4 is in a similar boat. Diablo 4 was also revealed at BlizzCon 2019 with an equally impressive CGI cinematic trailer. However, it seems that fans of the Diablo series will also be waiting quite some time for an official release date to be attached to the game. Unfortunately for Activision Blizzard, it seems like the overwhelming sentiment on social media is frustration, with many fans wondering why these titles were even announced back in 2019 if no meaningful updates would be given in all that time in between. However, with BlizzCon 2021 on the horizon, there is still plenty of room for hope for those fans wondering about these two Blizzard games. It's likely that Diablo 4 news will be shared at the event, but it's up in the air whether the news will be anything substantial. At the very least, a release date or even a release window seems very unlikely, given this news. Naturally, the same can be said for Overwatch 2. There have been rumors about Overwatch 2 swirling about the internet for a while now, with many claiming to have insider information about release dates or game details. Again, this news has put a damper on plenty of those rumors, if not outright disprove them. Still, while the release dates for these two titles may not fall in 2021, that doesn't mean that fans won't hear anything at all from Overwatch 2 or Diablo 4 at BlizzCon 2021. However, fans should absolutely keep their expectations in check going into the event, if this news is any indication on the development of both titles. Now, we can talk about what we can expect from Blizzconline 2021. Blizzard Entertainment will celebrate its 30th anniversary with Blizzconline 2021 later this month, promising major announcements. Blizzard Entertainment's upcoming virtual event, Blizzconline, will celebrate the World of Warcraft developers' 30th anniversary as a company. More details were released on Monday, affirming its recent promise that all content will be available for free. This is a welcome change from years past, when even a virtual ticket for BlizzCon could cost as much as $50. The opening ceremony for Blizzconline 2021 will take place at 2 p.m. PST/5 p.m. EST on Friday, February 19th. Afterwards, viewers will be able to choose between 6 simultaneous streams, each of which will be dedicated to a different Blizzard game. The event will continue the following day at 12 p.m. PST/3 p.m. EST, and will shift focus to the Blizzard community, featuring BlizzCon staples like a cosplay contest and an art competition. Footage from all of the events will be available afterwards on the Blizzconline website, so viewers will be free to catch up any streams they missed. Diablo 4. Diablo 4 was finally announced with a gorgeously gory trailer in 2019, and Blizzard been giving quarterly updates on the game's progress ever since. December's update from Diablo 4 game director Luis Barriga promised the announcement of something chunky at BlizzConline, making reference to a new version of the campfire scene we showed you at last BlizzCon. The campfire scene being referred to was a character selection screen, so a new playable class might be on the way. Unfortunately, it seems pretty unlikely that the game will get a concrete release date anytime soon. Later on in the update, Diablo 4's lead game designer, Joe Shelley, mentions that the company has lots to share in 2021, implying that Blizzard plans to continue developing Diablo 4 throughout the year. Diablo Immortal. The free-to-play mobile game Diablo Immortal was first announced at BlizzCon 2018 to a very disappointed audience, but the attitude surrounding the title has been much more optimistic in recent months. It entered a closed technical alpha this past December, and pages have already been created for it on the Google Play and Apple App Stores. One of Blizzard's favorite phrases is, and you can download/pre-order/play it right now. Diablo Immortal would be an excellent choice for a surprise demo, and would help extend the BlizzConline experience over the entire weekend. At the very least, Blizzard will likely announce a release date. Overwatch 2. Overwatch 2 was also announced at BlizzCon 2019, but there hasn't been a great deal of information about it since. In a developer update posted last December, game director Jeff Kaplan promised to give more information at BlizzConline. Fans have speculated that the game is still early in its development following a recent interview with voice actor Gakaspace, who voices Genji in the original Overwatch. He hasn't recorded lines for it yet, which no matter how one looks at it, that seems odd. While Overwatch 2 could be another area where Blizzard has a trick up its sleeve, it's probably a safer bet to expect a new trailer and little else. World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft received its 8th expansion, Shadowlands, this past November, and the community response so far has been generally positive. Assuming Blizzard plans to follow a content schedule similar to past expansions, World of Warcraft is due for a new patch. Fans are speculating that new Shadowlands content might be announced at BlizzConline, bringing new dungeons, raids, and gear. It would be surprising to get through the weekend without a substantial update on what WoW players can expect in the coming months. Hearthstone. Hearthstone received a slew of updates last year, and there's reason to believe a new mode is coming. Furthermore, many are expecting changes to come to the basic and classic card sets that have been in the game since the very beginning. A trailer for Hearthstone's next expansion seems like the safest bet. The first card set of the year is typically released in April, so late February would be the perfect opportunity for an announcement, and since the game's most recent expansion, Madness at the Darkmoon Fair, was released a month ahead of schedule, this next expansion might come out even sooner. Blizzard has a habit of surprising its fans and usually uses BlizzCon to do it, so fans should expect a couple of curveballs that no one could predict. It's going to be a long couple of weeks to find out what they are, but for now, all there is to do is wait and see. Blizzconline begins February 19th. Up next we have very interesting Silent Hill news for 2021. In an interview with Arabic content creator Bo Drade of AL Hub, Silent Hill composer Akira Yamaoka alludes to an exciting announcement coming in 2021. Silent Hill composer Akira Yamaoka has been very busy lately, involving himself in some pretty high-profile games. Recently, Yamaoka was brought on to write music for the medium on Xbox Series X and PC, which was a high point of praise in many of the reviews leading up to release. Now, it seems that Yamaoka may have another announcement to make during 2021 that could involve the games industry, and even Silent Hill. In an interview with Arabic content creator Bodrade of AL Hub, Yamaoka teased he may have something to announce sometime in the summer of 2021 that fans of his work are hoping to hear about. Naturally, the first property that fans think about with a teaser from Yamaoka is something Silent Hills related. For quite some time now, rumors of a Silent Hill title on PS5 have been floating around the industry. This PS5 Silent Hill game is rumored to be in development, but no concrete details of the game have surfaced to lend real credence to the rumors. Fans have been desperate for a new entry in the Silent Hill series ever since the PT demo dropped on PS 4 years ago. Speaking of the PT, there have also been some pretty heavy rumors that Hideo Kojima is developing Silent Hills for PS5. While this is pretty unlikely when one considers Kojima's relationship to Konami, it would be incredible if Yamaoka were collaborating with Kojima once again. Yamaoka was careful not to give anything away when speaking about his announcement, as he naturally wanted to keep things very general when talking about undisclosed topics like upcoming projects. The interview itself was mainly focused on Bloober Team's The Medium, which Yamaoka worked on along with other Silent Hill music collaborators. It could be important to note that Bloober Team has stated that the studio has already started to work on its next horror project, so it's possible that Yamaoka could be collaborating with them once again. However, summer 2021 seems way too soon to announce another collaboration with Bloober Team, considering The Medium just released. If one thing is certain, it seems that some sort of video game collaboration is the most likely candidate for this 2021 announcement. The way Yamaoka described the announcement leads one to assume it has something to do with Silent Hill. However, Konami has been notoriously stingy with its IP since parting ways with Kojima, and it seems doubtful that Konami is developing a new Silent Hill game on its own. Regardless of whether Yamaoka's announcement involves a new Silent Hill title, the music surely won't disappoint. I've given the interview video in my description. You can check out the full video there. Again, some Resident Evil news is popping out, as the Resident Evil Twitter drops a couple of tweets hinting at some parts of the story in the upcoming Resident Evil Village. In the last few months, Resident Evil 8 has increasingly garnered attention from franchise fans for its new enemies, story, and location. Capcom showed off Castle Dimitrescu in the Resident Evil Showcase event, which will have its share of secrets, macabre puzzles, and new enemies to fight and run away from. Now Capcom is starting to promote a bit of the game's story and mystery. The Resident Evil Twitter dropped hints about the upcoming Resident Evil 8 story in 2 tweets released a week apart with a few bits and pieces of information for fans. The first tweet showed a letter sent from a mysterious figure signed only as with instructions to follow their preparations, while the second tweet contained a brief field log about recent activity taking place around an unknown location. Capcom did this type of promotion before with Resident Evil 7 before its release. The company released the beginning hour demo, which gave players a better idea of what to expect as the launch date drew closer. This time, Capcom seems to be dropping hints on the game's official Twitter about aspects of the game that deepen the mystery a bit further. The new game's story continues the journey of Ethan Winters as he searches for his kidnapped daughter, leading him to the village, and the eerie Castle Dimitrescu, home to the mysterious Lady Dimitrescu and her bloodthirsty daughters. While the game promotes the towering Lady Dimitrescu as the main villain, it may be foreshadowing a bigger mastermind at work. When the first tweet dropped, fans quickly connected to the figure Mother Miranda mentioned in the Resident Evil Showcase. To fans, the tweet reaffirmed that Lady Dimitrescu reports to Mother Miranda, and shows she may be the one orchestrating everything that's about to transpire in the game. It also connects to why the note is instructing the recipient to make their preparations as instructed with the warning "Do not disappoint me." Mother Miranda might not make an appearance, but will likely remain an influential presence in the game story. The second tweet was a confidential field log titled Number Re-8 showing someone's watching the comings and goings of a particular location, which some speculate to be the castle. The log reports discovering signs of dragged bodies along a certain route, and that they'll continue monitoring the occupants and activities of said location. While the logger is kept nameless, some commenters suggested the person writing the log is none other than Chris Redfield himself. Players can look forward to more hints and mysteries for Resident Evil 8 if Capcom continues to drop more tweets like these. IO Interactive reveals the first major content roadmap featuring free DLC and game updates coming to Hitman 3 in the month of February. After launching last month, Hitman 3 has been a big success for IO Interactive. The final part of the World of Assassination trilogy has seemingly already turned a profit for the developer, taking less than a week to not only make back all of its development costs, but now becoming fully profitable. It's likely this boon will continue well into 2021 as Hitman 3 is following the live service model established by its predecessors. While the Hitman games are predominantly a single-player experience, featuring a campaign with a definitive start and end, IO Interactive has managed to find a way to keep the experience feeling fresh long after the credits have rolled for players. Thanks to monthly updates, the Hitman games have managed to add in tons of new content from new maps, elusive targets, items, and plenty more to help mix up the experience. While it shouldn't be too surprising, Hitman 3 is following this plan as details surrounding both free and paid February content have finally been revealed. In a new video from IO Interactive, the February roadmap for Hitman 3 features a slew of new content for players to dig into. The first escalation arrives on February 4th entitled The Baskerville Barney in Dartmoor, with the second called The Sinbad Stringent coming later in the month on the 18th on Dubai. February also features a couple of collaborations through featured contracts, which are essentially missions created by guests. February 11th features Min-Max, while the next with Kinda Funny happens on February 23rd. The first elusive target launches at the end of the month on February 26th, and gives fans a week and a half to attempt to take out a group known as the Deceivers on the Sapienza map. On February 23rd, the game is also getting a major update, though IO Interactive has not detailed what exactly will be in it. For those who picked up the deluxe version of Hitman 3, 2 new escalations will be added on February 23rd. The first, called the Gauchito Antiquity, challenges players to use poison to take out their targets as the Guru. Next is the Prolof Parable, and players get to play as the White Shadow aboard a train in the Carpathian Mountains. Using a katana and sniper rifle, players will need to battle through the train against a time limit. While new missions and content are always welcomed, how far IO Interactive goes with future DLC remains to be seen. Recently, executive producer Forrest Swartout Large admitted that the company isn't exactly sure what future DLC missions may look like. While it's unlikely that players see large-scale new maps such as Haven Island, it's not out of the question, though Large seems to be leaning more towards re-imaging and twisting previously seen locations instead.
Less privileged sons and respectable, our freedom. But with a small loan from my father, I soon built up a construction empire
Nice day for it,
worthy
isn't it?
of the great Al-Ghazali legacy. So, I would like to thank my cousins, without whose friendship,
And our final news is that Beat Saber slashes VR sales records after shipping 4 million copies. The rhythm game was one of the first major VR releases to break ground. Beat Saber has officially sold over 4 million copies, along with over 40 million paid DLC songs. The game's team took to Twitter to thank everybody for playing the game, adding this is just the beginning. Beat Saber has doubled its sales in less than a year after Oculus reported in 2020 that it had crossed the threshold of 2 million copies sold, 2 years after initial release. It's hard to be 100% definitive, but Beat Saber's 4 million sold, and counting, is the highest figure we've seen for any VR title so far. Its wide availability across different headsets PSVR, Oculus, HTC Vive has no doubt helped. The game's seen a steady release of content over the last 3 years, with multiple DLC song packs, a level editor, and even a multiplayer mode which released in October. As VR has struggled to find its place in the gaming mainstream, but 2020 was a big year for growth. Half-Life Alyx was a huge hit, currently sitting at the top of Steam's VR bestsellers list. Steam reported a 39% increase in VR game sales, too. While we can't predict the future, we've taken a good look at the state of VR, and what 2021 may look like in the virtual world. And that's all for the video. Today we have covered more news, and I will make sure I produce content each and every day as much as I can. If you like my video, you can follow my channel and click the bell notification icon. The news and content coming from this channel will be legit, interesting, informative, and creative. So, don't regret subscribing and commenting, mainly PlayStation fans. And until then, goodbye.